How's it going, everyone? Welcome to my demonic gorilla guide. I've been wanting to make one for quite a while now, so I'm happy that I've got round to doing it. In the background, as per usual in my guides, I show the notable drops that I've got from killing the boss itself, but these are pretty easy drops to acquire. They haven't got like crazy drop rates or anything, so the only ones that hold good value are the zenyte shards, and then the monkey tails are just sort of fun to get in a way, if you want to put it that way. I mean, I don't find it fun, but they're 1 in 1.5k and it's only like 500k, whereas the zenyte shards are 1 in 300 and they're like 11 mil, but they do go up and down quite a bit. Also, I want to say about this guide is I'm a Zerker, so the gear I'm going to be recommending in that is going to be to Zerkers. That's what most of my guides are for, but if you're here for the technique, then obviously it's going to be exactly the same. The only difference is I'm just going to be using different gear, so, and probably like slightly different amount of pots, but that's about it. Before you can even start killing these things, you need to get Monkey Madness 2 done as well, which also gives you the Royal Seed Pod, which is a teleport that's like the closest one to the demonic gorillas. So yeah, get that done if you haven't. So let's get on to stats. If you're a Zerker, at least have 90 strength, I'd say, since you can have low attack, especially if you're using a D skim. You're not really going to be hitting crazy hard, so it would help to have high strength. If you're a main, you can have 85 all, including range as well, which will probably work fine. Also, 94 mage for vengeance will be helpful, but that's after you learn it. I wouldn't recommend using vengeance at start because it'll probably throw you off, since there's a lot of clicking to be trying to concentrate on, and using vengeance will probably throw you off a bit. For gear setup, this is what I use for what I'm wearing, and the top 6 here. Down here I'll get onto in a second. But yeah, I use basically my max range, obviously with the Slayer helm because you need that for the boost. I bring in a blessing because you don't use bolts, so you might as well get that extra +1 prayer bonus. And then for melee, my switch is into that. You can use less switches if you want, but I'll get onto that as well in a second. So I've still basically got my max strength on here. You only need addy darts as well in your blowpipe, and right now I have runes, so that just failed, but oh well. So let's just throw this back on. So also, if you don't want to be spending a shitload of money on third age, which is obviously pointless, I only have it because I just could afford it at the time, but yeah, you could just bring D-hide, which is going to be exactly the same, just slightly less mage, but pretty much the exact same. And then you can use a fury instead of these amulets of torture and anguish, just to have less switches. And also, if you don't want to bring more ring switches and you have a ring of suffering, that would be good as well because it gives nice defense. I just don't use it because I like having that offense. And then the rest of it will basically be the same. You could just have one. You could have one ring as well if you don't have a suffering. I use D-skim obviously because I'm 60 attack. Use whip or fucking anything you want. Obviously arc light, people don't really want to waste it on gorillas, but you can use that as well if you really want to. And then also the bludgeon, which is a bit more costly, but that would be good as well. As for the infantry setup, this is what I bring. I have my melee gear equipped, so I can do this for my blowpipe. I can have the anglerfish above it. Just before I leave, I can eat it, and that frees up the slot above it. So when I put on my blowpipe, I have that slot there for my defender to go into. I have my combat pot and my range pot. 6 prayer pots because I have low prayer, and even though the gorillas do drop them, sometimes I don't get them. Quite often I don't get them a whole trip. So I like to bring 6 just so I can stay there for as long as possible. And then I have my Royal Seed Pod for the teleport, vengeance, and then the rest foods. Also, they drop food as well, so that can help extend, but that also can sometimes not happen for a whole trip, so I wouldn't count on that. And they can drop 2 dose brews, so sometimes I bring restores or like a couple of restores instead of prayer pots, so you can use that as well if you wanted to, which will be also something to help extend your trip. So let's get on to getting there. All you have to do, obviously, click your fucking seed pod. We're not that stupid, are we? And then you walk out of here after you've come out of that weird little cabbage next to the midget king. Let's go out. I could just easily cut his head off. He's at the perfect height, just whoosh, straight off. But we're not going to do that because, you know, we'll allow him. We'll allow him. So let's go past. Let's see how many kills we've actually got. So you can check a kill count on the gravestone right here. And we have 1.3k, so I got it right earlier. 1.333 actually, so looks pretty cool. You go through this little barrier, it takes you into like an instant sort of kind of thing where you just like can't, yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then you walk through here, oh shit, death, fire, bones, whoa, no, it's a tree, fair enough. Anyway, you walk past here, keep going up to the exclamation point. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. Exclamation, that's an exclamation point. Then you come here, this is a little safe spot here if you want to chill before you go forth, but we are not, we are just going there now. So let's go past these guys. You could just throw up Prey Mage because that's what I use, innit? There's another spot you could chill at, like here. And then, yeah, you go through here. Don't go down there because it's multi. Go up to this little stair bit I just went through. Follow up here. These are still the wrong ones. These are the tortured ones. And then as soon as you come into here, they've got the big wings on. These are the demonic gorillas. And, yeah, you could just hop worlds and find a spot because sometimes it can be quite full. But this is where you're going to be. So now we're going to jump into how to actually kill the gorillas, so let's do it. Gorillas use all three attack styles, range, mage and melee, so you need to be ready to switch in between whichever they're attacking you with. This is the mage attack, the range attack, and the melee attack. Next we need to know is when the gorilla is going to change attack style and how we're going to know which attack style it's going to be. You know he's going to change attack style when he hits 3 zeros in a row with the same attack. So as you can see here, there's one mage here, a tank, there's two, and then this is going to be the third. So I know here I need to get ready to change prayers, and then I'll get onto why I run away in a second. There's a couple of things you need to look out for as well, which will delay his attacks because it will do something else, but it won't actually affect the 3-0 thing. That will always just stay as when he's actually attacking you with the attack style. So here's one of them, is the boulder that drops on you. You know he's going to do the boulder attack because he wiggles his arms like that, so just always be on the lookout for that, and that means there's going to be a boulder coming from above you. I have my screen pretty far zoomed in, so it shows that you don't need like a crazy amount of time to react to it. You can just sort of do it last second and get away with it and just step at least one step away, but I sort of just do it quickly and just step wherever my mouse takes me to. They also use the exact same animation for when they switch protection prayers against what you're attacking them with after you've dealt a certain amount of damage. So as you can see here, I hit him, he changes to melee prayer, and he does that little quiver thing, and that also adds a little delay like it does for the boulder, but no damage is dealt, no special attacks are happening, it's just him like reacting to your hit. So don't get this confused with the boulder attack. So back to how to predict when he's going to change attack style after hitting 3 zeros with a specific one. So here we go again, there's 1, there's 2, I need to get ready to change. So what I do is I get my prayers up and then I run away, because what happens here is that if he changes to melee, he can obviously only hit you in melee distance. So if you run away a few steps, you have that time to react to melee and throw it up. But if you run away and he stays still, then you know you just have to change to range or mage depending on which one it was before. So let's watch it in slow motion now. This is the last mage attack, so I know it's either going to be range or melee. I take them a few steps away so I can tell if he was to stand still, it would be range. But he walked towards me, so I know it's melee. You have enough time to react to it as well because you've stepped back, so it's going to take him a few steps to reach you. So as you can see here, I actually pray ranged first before pray melee, but I still had enough time to switch it to melee before he actually reached me and hit me. So now I know he's got another 2 melee hits now until I have to switch prayers again. If you lose count of the zeros during the melee part as well, all you have to do is just take a step away, and if he stands still, then obviously you know he's not on melee anymore, and you need to be ready to switch prayers. When he's changing from his melee attack to range or mage, you obviously won't be able to predict which one it's going to be because they'll just stand still either way. So you basically just throw up the prayer of which you have the less defense for. So I throw up prayer mage most of the time, but sometimes I throw up prayer range just for the sake of it. But yeah, you can't actually predict from when he's using melee to what he's going to change to after that. So let's get on to actually attacking him and switching your equipment to whatever he's praying against you. If you bring Vengeance, the best time to use it is obviously when he's changing from his melee attack style to range or mage, because you have obviously a 50% chance to get the prayer wrong, so that's the best time to use your Vengeance. If you take any damage from the attack, which was supposed to be his 3rd zero, by switching your prayers at the wrong time or something, then you can repeat them same attack style 3 times in a row again, 3 zeros in a row, or you can just switch to a different attack style. So that can happen as well if you're confused, like, whoa, he's just used the same attack like 6 times in a row, it feels like. It's just because you took damage on what was supposed to be the last 0, but you yeah, it carries on for another 3 cycles, but sometimes, like I said, it can just switch to another attack anyway. When it comes to attacking the gorillas, you just need to know which prayer they're using against you, so you just look above their heads. Right now he's using pray melee, so I know I need to switch to my range gear and start attacking him with that. After you deal 50 damage with the same attack style, they will change their protection prayers, so you just need to be ready to switch your equipment and your offensive prayers and then continue attacking. And that's all you really need to know about gorillas. It's not exactly the most detailed thing ever because there's not really that much to know. It's sort of like, once you know what I've just told you, that's it basically. So it's nothing crazy hard, it's just a lot of clicking. So if you're someone who doesn't really like click intensive stuff and kind of likes chilling, gorillas probably ain't the one for you, and black demons are definitely one. But thanks for watching my guides. Sorry about not uploading that much, but my work schedule is just kind of crazy at the moment, but I try. I play the game a lot, it's just I'd rather play the game than make videos when I have the spare time, you know what I'm saying? So I have such little time to play the game, I'd rather play the game than make a video, because it's wasted time not being able to play the game. Because at heart, I'd still rather play the game. But yes, I love making videos, so hopefully more soon, but I ain't promising shit.